Hey everybody, it's Old School Heart once again, back with another review for you guys for Nate Parker's A Birth of a Nation. If you have not already gotten a chance to go see this movie, please go see this movie. So, what I will say is this: I am not going to be that person that tells you this whole movie. What I am going to do is highlight some parts of the movie that I liked without giving you what happened. Now, this is history, so we already know what happened, right? Y'all have read a book. If you have not read a book and you're not familiar with the story of Nat Turner, then of course I will not ruin it for you guys, but I will highlight the significant parts of the film, and then you can go watch for yourself, and then come back and tell me what you think about it and leave a comment. So, before we get into that, I just want to say thank you to all those that took their time out to watch the review I did on Solange's new album called At the Seat at the Table. That review got over 200 views, and baby steps. I'm so happy. I'm so excited for this channel. And I just want to say thank you to those that are rocking with me, who have subscribed, who have liked, the little that have commented. I just want to say thank you. You guys are looking at me or listening to me without me using any of the high tech quality that we all love, like cameras and computers. Right now, I'm just using my cell phone, but I just wanted to start this channel just to do what I know to do, which is talk. I do have a radio TV degree, and I wanted to start a channel full of reviews and different things that I find enjoyable, and hopefully you as well. So I just want to say thank you for rocking with me this far. If you have not gotten a chance to subscribe to the channel, please do so. If you have not gotten a chance to look at any of the reviews that I've done, I've been doing Queen Sugar. Queen Sugar will be back next Wednesday because I did not do an episode 6 review. So what I'm going to do is combine 6 and 7 for you guys. And I also promised you guys a review on Fred Hammond's album. So just let me know if you guys still want a review on that, if you're listening to that album, if you are a fan of Fred Hammond's, just let me know and I will do a review on that. But if you haven't gotten a chance, take a look at some of my old videos and comment and like them and share them if you can. So today, right now, right here, we are here to talk about Nate Parker's A Birth of a Nation. Now, it's very important for me to get this out here. We need to continue to call this Nate Parker's A Birth of a Nation and not confuse it with that horrific racist movie from the 1920s about the fear of black men that we saw in the first one. Now, I am a radio TV major graduate, and so I saw the first A Birth of a Nation. And to be honest with you, I didn't even get through the whole movie without being disgusted and just pretty much falling asleep. It was my freshman year. It was a boring movie anyway. It had a lot of hate in it. And although um, some film and radio TV students still, schools still see this as a significant film to watch. For me, I didn't care for it. Anytime you have a white woman jump off a cliff because she doesn't want to be raped by this big black man like he's the scariest thing ever, is not an entertaining movie for me. And to think that this movie was shown in the White House and had its own private screening because this was supposed to be the movie of the century. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows to call this movie what it is, and it is Nate Parker's Birth of a Nation. So what he did, just like we say with the word nigger or whatever you want to say, how we turn that word upside down to mean something else. That's exactly what Nate Parker did when he decided to call this A Birth of a Nation, because he wanted to change the horrific stereotype that black men are inferior to white people and that we're scary, we're nothing but rapists, we're nothing but apes and baboons and whatever else that you want to call us, to being men of strength, being men of wisdom, being men of great great character, is what he did by turning the name of Birth of a Nation to his Birth of a Nation. So I just want to say, when we discuss this movie, please call it Nate Parker's Birth of a Nation. We definitely do not want to give that old racist movie any more time than we already have. So, because this movie just came out Friday, like I said before, if I didn't say it before, I am not here to tell you bit piece by piece about this movie, because it just came out Friday and I want you guys to go see it and I want you to support Nate Parker. So it's important for me to make sure that I highlight parts of the movie without giving away the movie, and how hard that is. I've already recorded this like 50 times trying to figure out how can I tell you about the movie without telling you about the movie. So here it goes. So I want to say, one of the things that I found so um, enlightening about this movie, and something that I hadn't thought about in quite some time, is at the beginning of the movie, you'll see the relationship between the family and Nat Turner's family. I'm so sorry. Some just went in my eye. Okay, I'm good. The significance of a name, or the meaning behind your name, is so important, that when we're choosing names for our children, that we choose a name that we feel like God, or whoever you serve, but I serve God. Um, but that we choose a name that we feel like God is going to do in that person, or wants that person to be, or the gift that they want that person to be. And I know back in our days in Africa, um, the naming of the child was very significant. If the leader of certain tribes are the ones who would name the newborn child, and they would name it after what they felt like they wanted that child to be, or the tribe needed at the time. And I think that looking back, um, it's so important to continue to do that. I know that we name our children after different things now. We name our children after clothes. We name our children after cars. We name our children after different things that we've seen, or our ancestors, or people that have passed away in our families, like our grandparents, great grandparents, uncles, aunts. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I am saying is that what I learned from the film, and what it brought up in my memory, is that the naming of your child is significant. And not only is the naming of your child very significant, but that you're praying that whatever you name that child would actually be. So I had to think about that even with my name. This past birthday, on Facebook, my dad usually says happy birthday, and he lets everybody join in and say happy birthday to my daughter. But the one thing that he said this year that was so significant to me was, he said, "Your name means the manifestation of God." And I took some time out just to research, what does that really mean? The manifestation of God, the very appearance of God. Um, and how I try a lot of times to emulate that, and to have a good character. Even though I fail at most times, I do try very hard to do that. So, to me, it's very important to pray over your child, to pray certain things that you want your child to be. If you want your child to have wisdom, like the Bible said, you should ask for it. And so praying over your child that they have wisdom and they make good decisions, and that they are peacemakers, and that they are children of strength and wisdom and good character are important um to speak over your child's life, and to pray over your child's life, and to hear them say, you say it verbally to them, you are this, you are that. It's so important that we do that. And so that's one thing that stuck out to me in the film. Another thing is that when you speak those things out to your kids and you see it manifest, it will be no surprise to you when the things that you've spoken come to pass in their life. You're going to see that in this movie, where Nat Turner is going to be telling his family members certain things, and they're going to be like, "We already know he liked that. We already knew. Okay, I know. Yeah, we know." And so when you see it happening in your kids, it will be of no surprise to you when they say, "Mom, I'm going to be a doctor. Mom, I'm going to be a lawyer," or "Mom, I'm going to be an accountant," or "Mom, I'm going to be a pastor. Dad, I'm going to do this." And so that's one of the biggest things that I thought about while watching this movie. And hopefully, when you watch it as well, you catch on as well. That was the one thing that I can say. I was like, man, it's very important not to be just naming my kid anything, but to really think about what I'm naming my child. And how that child will represent me if I speak over my child's life. And I'm not saying that you have to be a Christian. I am a Christian. I'm not saying you have to be a Christian to be that way, but to speak different things over your child, even while they're in the womb. I heard someone, Ayanla, speaking about that in one of her books. I'm not a big supporter for her, but I did look at one of her books, and she was saying even in the womb, the child can hear and feel whatever you're feeling. And so to make sure there are faith affirmations going within your child that your child is listening to in the womb is very important. So that's one aspect of the film that I just, oh my goodness, it was just amazing. The next thing, um, man, it's hard for me to grasp the concept of love during slavery. This movie helped me grasp the concept of love. Um, when you are working all day, every day, um, to me, how do you just have time to appreciate and love on someone? Now, I understand taking care of someone. So if you've been up from sun up to sundown, the rubbing of the feet, the laying down next to someone, the comfort of someone. But to actually be able to still display um, different types of love is hard for me to conceive. But this movie helped me to realize that a man can really appreciate and love a woman for who she is, without even knowing that much about her, but still showing her love and still being a protection to her. And I think that's the one thing that I enjoyed about this movie is Nat Turner was a protector of his wife. I think women in today's society pushes that away a little bit more, um, to have independence, and I think that in some aspects we've failed in that. But at the same time, uh, the protection that a man gives to a woman um, is just amazing, and you will appreciate Nat's protection over his wife. Now, the biggest thing that you will find in this movie, and I'm going to make this short because it's hard to not tell you guys, but the biggest thing that you will find in this movie is the use of scripture. Now, it's going to be a lot of controversy when you talk to others about um, Nate Parker's using of scripture in this movie. Now, um, Nate has said a lot in his interviews that whereas white people use it to enslave us and to keep us enslaved by using slaves obey your master, for it is the right thing to do. Uh, Nate said the way that he conceptualized this movie and what he thought this movie to be is to use those same use the same words of the Bible to say that, to free himself of slavery. And so you will see him use different scriptures to validate that there was no reason for slavery. Now, disclaimer, for all of us health nut people, for all of us book readers, for all of us who love history and love going back, who teach history, if you are looking for this to be Nat Turner's story, if you are looking for this to be a movie where Nat Turner is told true from beginning to end, don't go see this movie. And I'm going to tell you why you don't want to go see this movie. Because if you're looking for that, this ain't the movie for you. Because this is not a play by play of Nat Turner's life. This is Nate Parker's depiction of what he believed happened when Nat Turner was living. Is it accurate? No, it is not. Neither was Malcolm X's story when Spike Lee did it, but we enjoyed that story. Neither is a lot of these stories that you see. Shoot, even looking at Temptations, I was looking at Temptations the other day, and that was just Otis Williams' story of the Temptations. But as you see, most definitely, not Otis Williams. Who's the guy? I can't even think of whoever Leon played in that. David Ruffin. I'm sorry. Oh my God, that almost drove me crazy. But whoever David Ruffin's family says all of that was a complete lie. There's a lot of truths and untruths in that. So this is not the full story, and we weren't there, so it's hard to say what exactly happened. We have certain accounts. We do know that Nate was interviewed um, before he died, and so you'll see parts of the movie that are true to how slavery was. I think that's a better way to say it than just to say, well, this is not like Nat Turner and blah blah. The use of scripture to enslave people was most definitely true. Um, the horrific scenes in the movie, all the way down to how bad slavery teeth were and how bad calluses on your hands were, um, working from sun up to sundown, um, just how evil. And we can continue to get even more gutted with how evil white people were to us. Those depictions were true. And so, like I said, if you're looking for this movie to be something that you've read in a book, or if you're a history nut, you've been following this for a while, don't go in there with that lens. Go in there with it in mind that it's based on a true story, but it's not the true story. Nate Parker does a very, very, very good job in giving us a story. And another thing that I found very important in this film is uh, how a story that was the way that I heard it was that this man just went around just killing white people for nothing. He just went around killing white people, just killed everybody he could. Um, what I found in this story and what it made me think about is Moses and how it really had to get gutter for Moses to leave Pharaoh and to leave his to get his people out. And to me, that's all Nate Parker was doing was he had read that scripture a number of times. He had heard the story of Moses. He had been allowed to read the Bible. And if that's the only book that you're allowed to read, and you see how Moses led the people out, look at the plagues that was put on the people. Look at the lives that were lost so that he could free his people. I think of that when I think of the way that Nate decided to do this film. And he made it beautiful. Um, Three words I think of as beauty for ashes in this movie. I don't think of the deaths of the white people as much as I think of this was Nate Parker's way to get his people to freedom. And it was a by any means necessary way. It was the way that he thought of. Um, there was such beauty um, in his reasoning behind doing what he did. And he really believed that he was the one to release his people. And so there will be some who will disagree with my statement, who will not like it, who will say, oh, so killing people is all right. If I'm thinking the way that Nat thought, yeah. And that's, I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but yeah, like, yeah. If that's his reasoning and all he had was the Bible to go by, and he read the stories of how bloody it got for the Jews to receive their freedom, then yeah. Um, the end of the movie reminded me of a persecution of Jesus as he was being led to the cross. Um, I know people will disagree with that as well, but I thought of that. And that's the part where I teared up the most at. So I'm just giving you a disclaimer. The end will make you cry. Um, and you will feel compassion for him. Like I said, it was hard for me to have compassion on the white people in this movie. And death is always terrible. And I'm not saying that I don't love white people and that I don't, some of my closest friends aren't white. But what I'm saying is I did feel a whole lot of compassion for Nat Turner and his family. And even though I knew the story, seeing it displayed the way that it was, even if it wasn't as true as it could have been, I felt so much compassion for him and his family. And it did remind me of Jesus and his last breaths. And, just what I definitely cried on is the freedom of knowing it's all over. And it may not have been over for all of his family, but for the freedom of him being able to go and be with God was emotional for me. And that's what I cried on. I didn't cry because, dang, they're killing him. I'm crying because if he wasn't going to be able to experience freedom here the way that he needed to, how good is it that he gets to experience it and go home to his father? You may believe that, you may not believe that, but that's what I believe it. So I tried to tell you about it without not telling you about it. This movie is something that you need to go see. Please do not be afraid to go see this movie. I know that there's a lot of speculation going on about Nate Parker in this movie and his rape allegations, but let me say this. He played alongside Denzel Washington in The Great Debaters. We didn't hear anything. He played alongside Terrence Howard in Pride. We didn't hear anything. He did that one with that pretty girl on Beyond the Lights. We didn't hear anything. He did the Spike Lee movie, and I can't even think of the name of it, Red Hook Summer. We didn't hear anything about it. he's been a part of a number of things, and we didn't hear anything about it. So it's kind of funny that here he raises $10 million, which has never been done after after his movie premiering at the Sun. I can't think of the film festival. Sunset Film Festival. I think it's Sunset Film Festival. Raising $10 million, and bam, rape allegations. I think he did a very good job at answering questions and saying how sympathetic he was to the family. But that was 10 years ago. We do not know the story. Rape is hard, hard, hard to prove, even with being able to have rape kits and things of that nature. It's still very hard to prove. This young lady is not here. We don't know the cause of her death, even though some are saying that she did the suicide because of the rape allegations. But this man was acquitted. And it just shows how people try to destroy people's characters when they do something radical like this. And so don't be afraid to go see this movie. If it's hurting you that bad and you can't see it, okay, that's fine. But I think it's still a movie that's worth going to see. And anytime you have a black man that writes it, produces it, and directs it, you need to go see it. The actors in it, all of them, and the actresses were amazing. What an amazing cast. And like I said, it's just a significant movie for our people. And you don't have to be a fan of Nate Parker at this moment, but respect his hustle. Respect his hustle. And respect what he tried to do by coming out with it. This was very controversial. Anytime you do a movie about killing white people, they're not going to be happy about it. They're not going to go and see it. But it is a part of history. And at the end of the day, Nat Turner was trying to free himself and free his people. And that's most definitely a part of our history, whether we agree with his method of doing it or not. But do not believe the hype, and do not listen or entertain people trying to hurt Nate Parker's character. This was an amazing film, and he did a very good job. And hopefully, it still will have Oscar nominations. If not, hey, you get it from us, Nate Parker. I just want to just say I just completely enjoyed this film, and I open it up for discussion. If you didn't like the movie, let me know. If you don't like my comments, let me know. Please like, comment, and share, and subscribe. Yay! Um, just an amazing movie. And I pray that there are other movies that come out like this. And so I will see you guys for Queen Sugar episode 6 and 7 review. And once again, let me know about that Fred Hammond review if you want it or not. This is Old School Heart, and thank you for taking time out to listen. Have a good day.